There. Recording 5 seconds. Live. 11 minutes. Alright. We can get started. And I just added the difference. Hey Kunal.
Hey, Cop. Good afternoon.
Yes.
How's it going?
Great.
Thanks for inviting me over.
Thanks for coming.
No problem. Thanks for making this wonderful tea.
You're welcome. Let's embrace the rain. Today I was caught out in the rain and I just accepted it. And then the customers, when they saw me, had a big smile on their face. And instead of complaining, I was just laughing. You know. And then you realize that the rain is beautiful. It creates a sound.
And you're totally feeling it. I can sense it. You're totally in the moment. Accepting the droplets, feeling the touch of it, smelling it, and internalizing it.
Oh, look at that. It's so cool. My head is red. I love it. It's perfect. Look at this frame.
Fantastic.
And there's a 3-second delay on it, so it's gonna mindfuck you.
Wonderful.
Yeah, the hot days are over.
Yeah, I'm feeling like the summer is over.
That's it. It's over. It's done. August is done. We're entering September.
The fall.
Fall.
The fall is here.
I love it. I love the changing of the seasons. That's one of the best parts of Canada. Is you have all 4 seasons full bloom every year. It's not like fucking Hawaii where it's beautiful weather plus rain all the time.
Yeah, I was kind of missing the monsoon. We have a season monsoon, like 2 months
Yeah.
of monsoon in India, which is, it rains incessantly 2 months. And I was kind of missing rain when I came here, so I didn't complain because I feel like it's the part of nature that gets more greener. With the rain, it gets its water, it gets its nutrition, and we get drenched a little bit, but I feel that's the beauty of it. The nature sprouts more. It shows all its beauty in fall. And it's what a relief from the hot summer that we just had a couple of days back.
Exactly. I'm digging this. I'm digging this. I'm done complaining. Life is too short to complain.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you're dead. And you spent your life complaining about it being too hot, it being too cold, it being too rainy, it being too windy, it being too snowy, it being too icy. It's just a never-ending cycle.
Yeah. You just accept it as it is and find the beauty in it. I think that's how you live with it.
That's right. Nature is all curves. Man is all straight edge. So sharp. We're in the valley. We're in the valley between man's mountain and nature's mountain.
Nature's mountain.
That's why we chose this place.
It's a wonderful realization. Nature is all curved. It's not straight. It's not perfect.
There isn't one straight line. Not one.
Yeah. A lot of people in our profession actually choose that inspiration from nature to make curvilinear profiles.
But look at the buildings.
Yeah.
It's all straight edges. It doesn't matter what your aspiration is when you're doing a desk job where you're making straight edge condo buildings. That's one of the big sufferings of an architect, a professional architect, is not doing the architecture you dream of. Because you're serving the client.
Yeah, that's a bit of thorny issue, but definitely curving buildings.
Because you're not the decision maker. Your client decides.
And with the present techniques, I think the most cost efficient way is to make straight buildings.
Of course, because you can stack more units. If you started making curves and you straight out of the box,
it adds up to the cost. So what have you been up to? What you're doing in life? I know you've been started content creation. How is it going? We can talk about it.
it's going great.
It's fantastic.
It's a lot of discipline. That's what I'm realizing. It's a lot of work.
And I guess you're constantly learning new skills.
Yeah, it's so fresh to me, but I'm absorbing it naturally, like as you saw. I mean, I spent my whole life watching videos, films, so creating your own becomes a lot more straightforward when you have references. So this framing took me 2 minutes to set up because I've played around enough to know how to frame the shot. These are so many things I have to learn, and it's so good I'm doing it. The last thing I want to do is hire a video editor. I want to know every single step from A to Z, so that when I'm at a level where I can hire editors, I know exactly what the fuck we're talking about, what to do, right? Because now I'm getting an idea of how to create a story even with very simple setup. So when I start editing the videos where I'm going around the city, that's going to be even more interesting. That's what I'm getting to now.
It's very interesting because I think craft makers should know every single aspect of the craft.
Yes.
It's very crucial. Like a poet or an artist who knows every single brush stroke or every single pen stroke. It's the same for the video creator. I think it's very crucial.
Yeah.
There have been great filmmakers, great editors who started from doing everything. It's very important. Have you noticed the building painted in rainbow colors?
Yeah, that one.
Same German.
I watched them paint it from day to day. They would do one floor a day. So in a week they did it.
I think it looks great.
It looks amazing. They did a good job.
Instead of the concrete is now looking much more vibrant. It got a facelift.
And it is the only building doing this. And now that he's done it, it's created a precedent. All these motherfuckers are gonna do the same. Like, imagine that wall. Imagine a mural. 15 stories on that wall, or that wall. Or there's so many beautiful murals you could set up. It's just that nobody's thinking at that level. The only reason why they even did that is because it's a posh building full of very rich millionaires.
Yeah.
It's like, they added an entire box. Do you see the box on top of the painted
That's
with
right.
the glass?
Yeah.
That was added as units that they sold for millions of dollars. So that's why they even had the money to invest in a mural. So
Because I'm sure that's gonna cost them a lot because even doing the murals, but they had a cash flow.
they have the cash flow, exactly. What I've realized with real estate owners is that it's not even a question of cash flow. It's a question of maximizing profits. And I'm seeing this in all the buildings I'm going into. Is most of them, even the downtown ones, are dilapidated because they don't want to spend $1 on fixing it up. Not most of them, it just depends. Like these McGill buildings are pretty dilapidated compared to what you'll find south of Sherbrooke.
Right.
But that it will reflect in the price. This is the best deal over here because you get the best price with the best location. You just don't have a modern condo.
Right.
Right? But to me, I want to live in a 60s building with a giant balcony like this, you know? Like, I could not do this in one of those tiny condos. And I wouldn't be here being able to record the mountain from there. I'd be looking at a brick building in front of me. I'd be looking at the neighbor's condo. Like, here, we're in the valley. So you see everything. And I'm blessed with this view every day. And I pay money. I work. I deliver food right now. And it's so rewarding because I'm building a connection with the people of the city.
And also, you are providing food. That's, I think, a fulfilling responsibility.
Yeah.
You're bringing food to their mouth.
Yeah.
I feel the downtown Montreal is becoming more vibrant over the weeks because the student has started moving in, and
It's exploding.
it's exploding.
I've been out on the streets every day, and it's like even more than 2019, before COVID, because people were so strung up. 1.5 years in lockdown. They didn't get to do this last summer. They're doing it this summer.
They're making it up.
They're making it up.
I was when I was out, I saw a lot of young people moving in and going out in groups, singing.
It's Frush. They're celebrating Frush. They're so happy. They're so fucking happy.
Makes me happy as well.
That's right. They're getting a taste of freedom.
Right.
Plus cash deposited into their checking account from their parents. Beautiful.
They're probably the youngsters are probably making decisions first time in their life, independent of their parents.
But they're just not living with their parents. Being away from your parents changes your life. Their influence stops influencing you every day. Stops judging you because you live with parents. They're judging you constantly. There's so much stuff you don't have to deal with anymore, and now you have your own space. So you can invite people, you can meet people. So that's the biggest part of coming to McGill. It's not the degree, it's the socializing. It's meeting people. Like all my best friends are from McGill.
I've been fortunate to meet some of them, and they're great. Also, most of my friends are from McGill.
Yeah.
I think university life is a great place to make bonds, connections, meeting like-minded people, getting inspired from each other.
Yeah, and you meet a big group of people. Because if you're working in an office, you'll most likely be meeting 5, 10, 50 people at the most. But in a university campus like this, if you're living here, you're meeting 35,000, 100,000 people. Potentially. Like, we're probably looking at 50,000 people right now. Just in front of us. All these buildings, right?
And people from this 50,000, they will go on like becoming famous at one point. They will be heading companies, they will be heading businesses, they'll be leaders of tomorrow, they'll be
making YouTube and Twitch videos.
Videos.
Fucking balconies.
Yeah. Some of them will become politicians, will become prime ministers, governor general.
That's right. Potential of growth. isn't everything.
And people who will be meeting today, they can change the decision of the country tomorrow when they become people of power. That's amazing.
Wow. I can feel the sun trying to pop out from the fog. It just got brighter here, over where we are, right here. You know, the sun is still there. It's still here, it's just, there's a layer between us and the sun right now.
The cloud. So how you're making this travel across the country? Are you driving? Are you
Driving.
and you're gonna stay at different places over every day? I guess it's gonna be a really interesting experience.
Yeah. I'm gonna go wherever I want. I only end point is back home. So I'll just be going all the way to the west coast, English Bay Beach, then I'll come back. I'll take 2 different routes, going there and coming back.
And you're gonna experience the wilderness, the
Yeah.
nature, mountain.
I'm gonna spend a lot of time outdoors, like a lot.
It's really nice. And I think that it also fits your adventurous nature.
That's right. I meet a lot of people and just take some time for myself while I'm still invisible.
And afterwards, people are gonna recognize you, and then they will say, "Oh, I knew that guy."
I'm gonna record it on
Okay.
Daily Golf.
Okay.
So if I do this, there'll be like a good 20 plus episodes just of me recording it every day. So that'll be a fun part of it.
And it will be all live.
It won't be live. It'll be on YouTube
It will be on
because I don't have the data right now
That's
to
right.
do it live.
But it will live in YouTube. I mean,
Exactly.
people can go back and cherish the memories.
Exactly, and if I'm doing it on YouTube, I can get very high quality. And your data is not going to be consistent across the country. Even though Fido, for example, works country-wise, there are just some areas where there isn't much Wi-Fi. So live streaming in those areas would be difficult. So it's easier to just record it with a camera, edit it, and then upload it.
Right. When you have a good bandwidth.
Exactly, this way you get full quality. Because the camera doesn't need to connect to the internet. It really doesn't. That's only if you're live streaming. But I want to do that. I want to do both. I want to be at a level where I can live stream out of my glasses. Just
Right.
like that. And combine it with my live streaming here. I've been running some tests. My viewers have been losing their mind. They're like, what the fuck is he doing? And it's fun because I get to learn filmmaking by doing this.
Yeah.
I get to see the output of it, video and sound, right away. I can adjust the angles on the fly. I don't have to bring this back into an editing software. So I really enjoy both.
Right. And I think everyone should do this. One doesn't know what one can do unless they do it. And it's that first fear of making the first stroke in the blank piece of paper that's the hardest part.
Yeah. Well, you need courage. And I don't think everyone should do this. I think those who really want to do it should do it.
Yeah.
They're the ones who are
That's
going to find the motivation to do the work, right? I've gotten to a point where it's set. This is what I need to do right now. There's no questioning it. There's no doubting. It's like I'm operating at a level now where I know exactly what I need to do, and then it's all about discipline of executing it. And there's a lot of times where I'll be slacking off on certain responsibilities, but then you have like a million other responsibilities. So you'll be growing some aspects of your life at a certain pace, and then other parts not so much. Other parts are deteriorating, your body's deteriorating, your mind's deteriorating. Right?
It's true that we're with every second.
We're dying, man.
Yeah.
We're slowly dying.
Every second we're slowly dying.
But we're not necessarily slowly dying, because some people are dying much faster than others. They have a condensed lifespan. That's why I'm doing this, so that these records exist forever. Right? And even AI will be watching this. So you can even show a lesson to AI. Right? Because when we're at that point where AI are the rulers, when we've given up all our power to AI, there can be examples for them as well. It doesn't, even though they're created to control, they can evolve as well, just like us. It just, there's no consideration for such things. It's all about technology is good. It's gonna liberate us. We're not free. How are we more free than 2,600 years ago when Buddha said, watch your breath? When he talks about attachment leading to suffering. I'm realizing we're all here to undergo a curriculum, to resolve our karma. The fact that we even have bodies means we have attachments.
Yeah.
All of us have attachments, including the animals. They have bodies themselves because they have attachments. It just, we incarnate at different levels. Right? Maybe the cat is actually a very high level of being when you think about it.
Right.
Because they are much more at peace than any human being I've ever met. Right? So maybe that's one of the later stages. Maybe in one of your later lives, you're like, you get to love the cat because you're still in the world of form and suffering, but you've let go of attachment. But you can still have attachments as cats. Even Tubbs, she loved eating things. But I don't know, she could have just let go of everything, and now she doesn't need to incarnate anymore.
That's right. When gets rid of all the attachments, I think that's the birth one gets as Buddha. Buddha is the ultimate birth.
Well, there's no more birth.
No more birth.
You don't need to birth. You're at peace.
Yeah. You attain enlightenment.
You resolve your karma, basically.
Yeah.
But that becomes a whole ego trip. And so you still have attachment, because then you're attached to being a Buddha. If you think you're a Buddha, you're not a Buddha.
Yeah, not.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's the ego comes.
it's the ego trip. A lot of these gurus and spiritual teachers themselves are ego tripping. They may be at a high level of awareness, but how many people have no ego, have no attachments? I can't find it in anyone. You know, where's the Jesus Christ? Everyone's hiding, right? Can't even open their mouths. Don't even have the courage to record themselves talking. So they silently watch other people's content. Oh my god. I'm done, man. I'm so tired of watching instead of doing. The toughest are the PhDs. They're really in a loop of procrastination. For them, it's very hard to get out of bed. Because they have so much time. They have all this time to write a fucking 100-page paper. I'll write that in one fucking semester here. Done. Blah, 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 blah. They're not even going to read it, bro. Oh, I did my research. I have my bibliography. It's all an ego trip. Especially the academic world. The academic world is one of the biggest ego trips. I am a professor. I am a beholder of knowledge. I am more intelligent than you. Now listen to what I say I have authority over you. I determine your grades, which are your dollars in school. And then you go from collecting grades to collecting dollars. And then you wonder why all the 25-year-olds are depressed. Because they were lied. Lied. Then they end up at Neuf Architects. But at least they make money. At least they pay the bills. At least they are productive members of society. We're so obsessed, man. It's like if people stop working, they lose purpose. If people can't even go a good day without working, because then they get depressed. And like, why am I here?
Some people are so workaholic that without work, they cease to exist.
That's their ego. The work ego.
Some people, they live to work.
And then when you have no work, you're nobody. You're invisible to society. I remember being in that strange place after I quit my job. You're not in school and you're not working. What are you doing, right? Especially as a man, your value as a man is determined on your resources. If you have no resources, you're nobody. You're invisible. I'm glad this is being recorded. So you can come back, watch it on August 29th, 2021, where the Froshies are partying. Their last day before they go to school tomorrow.
Right.
So they're gonna drink it up before we go back into lockdown, and it becomes illegal to go meet your neighbors. Insanity, man. Wow. Getting paid to talk. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 go talk blah 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 blah. I'm working from home.
It's a true working from home.
But I'm also not working from home. I'm going out in the city and meeting people.
That's true.
A lot of smiles today. I try to pass on good vibes to all the people that I meet. Just random strangers, people holding the door.
That's nice. That's kind of infectious thing.
Yes.
Spreading happiness, smile, joy,
Peace.
peace. Makes you happy, makes other people happy.
You have to be happy. You have to be at peace in order to do that.
Yeah.
You can't force it.
I think in that process you become radiant, and you radiate that joy that you have within, and it comes from you naturally.
Yes.
And you infect everyone else.
And I can infect them at a whole other level with this content. Forever.
That's right, forever.
There will be people who aren't even born today, born alive today, who can be watching this
That's true.
after I'm dead. So this is for many generations
To come.
to come. To see the process. At this point, I just want to record my life to the end. So you can see the process, at least starting from 28 at a clearer level. Because there's different levels of definition. You can go even back to the 90s where you get my parents' album photo of me being a baby. Like, that's still a record. Right? But now it's sophisticated to a level of 1080p 60 FPS video every day of my life level. You know what I mean? Plus Instagram, plus it's like our lives are being recorded. And we're at the beginning of it. 25 years is nothing. Another 25 years will go by and you'll say, why did I ever make a fucking podcast? Right? I had the balcony, I had the cameras and the microphone, and I never fucking did it because I was too lazy to learn Premiere Pro. Start editing and uploading, even though people were gonna talk shit about you for all eternity. You give a fuck, man. Because if you don't want to be silent and you're forcing yourself to be silent, it's a very painful situation. And we're forced into silence, or else you're reprimanded. You're a dissenter. And the more people talk, the more courage is given to the silent people who want to talk.
I met two of your friends from McGill who are like philosophy students, PhD students. I forgot their name. You remember?
Women?
Yeah.
Two women?
Yeah.
Yeah. Malihe and Steph Butera. Right?
They're talking about their philosophy classes, and they're talking about the struggles with the PhD that they were going through. We're talking about PhD students, I don't remember, but one of them were definitely finishing up, I think.
That's it. They spent their whole lives as academic. I spent my whole life except the last 6 years as academic. If you think about it, it's pretty recent. It's been 6 years since I graduated from there.
And it's a beautiful thing to see your alma mater every day morning.
I see my progression because I'm walking the same streets. After 10 years, I'm on the same streets as when I first came here and I was inspired by campus, right? This is the architect's wet dream of a school campus. Because you study architecture through the campus and the neighborhood itself. Look at the buildings. There's buildings from the 19th century on our campus. There are columns with engravings of bored students from 100 years ago sitting behind this fucking column, falling asleep, listening to the ego-tripping professor talking. Right? Those professors are doing the same thing I'm doing now, except they do it to a small class of students.
Yeah.
They talk, blah, 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 blah. Apparently, I've done lots of research. Let me talk. And I'm going to grade you.
That's true. I was watching a documentary of Isaac Newton today, and they show that Newton inscribed his name on the bench in his school.
Exactly.
And
it's still there.
People come to see that 400 years back, his name written on a bench by himself.
We had that in our studio with Moshe Safti, and my friend, she took it. She cut out the cork. It was from a desk. It was like Safti from 63, 64, when he's in his 20s in 1963. And we found that, and they were throwing out the desks. They were making new studio. So that 50-year-old desk was gonna be tossed. So she like cut out the fucking engraving of Safti. Legit, man. This is what I mean, records.
Right.
This is a digital record.
Right. Mr. Safti would be laughing if he saw that.
Yeah, he would be.
He's from 1963, right?
Yeah, when he was a young man.
Are you going to vote this time?
No. No voting.
Is there a reason?
There isn't anyone worth voting. The politician I want to vote for will not exist within my lifetime. They're all snakes. Rulers. I'm done.
But irrespective of that, somebody is gonna come and
It makes no difference who's in power.
but you have a chance to choose the best or the worst. Like if you don't make a choice, you have no say, but at least you can try.
I'd rather inspire people with my actions instead of a vote. Because if a politician could solve our problems, why are we still slaves? After thousands of years of politicians, not one of them solved their problem. They created problems and then offered the solutions to the problems they create. And now technology creates a million new problems. And there's the solutions to the problems. You take away your privacy, oh, here's your privacy back. Take this away, oh, no, we're not gonna give it away. You see, all these laws become permanent. We're getting regulated to death. Why am I gonna vote these people who are regulating us to death? Collecting taxes while printing money. They're gangsters. These people are gangsters. Masquerading as people who fight for the people. You're not fighting for the people, you're fighting for yourself. To enrich yourself, to gain power and ego trip to the next level. I rule people. I rule a billion human beings. Look at me. Right? And you better keep your mouth shut because they control the soldiers. Brainwashed child soldiers. It's exhausting.
That's right. It would be a wonderful idea to see a leader who would say, I serve the people, rather than rule. I rule the people. It's like that change in attitude where they kind of open up saying that, well, I'm a servant of the people.
Why don't they get rid of taxes? Why don't they get rid of more laws instead of adding laws and taking away freedom? There's really basic stuff. Why don't they stop printing money? You see, they will not. It's all a power game. Has nothing to do with serving the people. That's the propaganda that's played in order to trick the people into voting for two snakes. You vote for this snake or that snake. They're both snakes. I'm gonna vote for neither snake. I vote for myself. I focus on myself, what I can do within my short lifetime. And through my actions, I inspire people. It'll be another 100 years before that politician is even born. At least. We're too unconscious. Our species is still stuck in slavery. Big time. And the politicians want to be the slave masters. And then I see all these hardworking people every day grinding it out in the restaurants, feeding people, working in grocery stores, doing all these jobs. They have no power, but they still do their work with respect, with pride. I have more respect for these people than all the politicians in the world combined.
That's true. They
make the world work.
Final.
Without them, there's nothing. A lot of people just talk and move money around.
Right.
All these investors, they're just moving money around. It's the people who build businesses, who do all that work, who are really pushing this world. But everyone's ego tripping. The investors too. Look at me, I funded the business that did this, but you didn't do the work. Who did the delivery? You see, everyone's ego tripping. And then even the Uber delivery person's ego tripping. Oh, look at me, I served all these people. Right? We're all ego tripping. Every day. Every fucking day. And then we wonder why we live. Why we're here. Can't even find our purpose within our lifetime.
Yeah, we're always questioning the meaning of our existence, right?
No, but we don't. That's what I'm saying. We don't. We never do. Most,
Well, yeah. If we don't look closely, we don't.
very few people do. Some people do, but a lot of people don't because they're surviving. You know, they don't have time. when you're working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, you don't have time. You're like sleeping, you're eating, you're pooping, you're resting, you're working. And you have a bit of time to yourself, and that's it. You're not going to be questioning your existence. You're like, how am I going to pay my rent next month? And that's a lot of stress. I'm so tired of this stress. And I have to work to get myself out of this stress. Because I can get myself out of the stress. I just have to make more income, plain and simple. And to do that, I have to work harder. And that's the privilege of being an underprivileged man. Is you have the privilege of working.
Right.
You have the opportunity of working because things aren't just being given to you.
And you're in this loop that unless you work, you're not gonna cover your shelter. So you have to keep working to keep the shelter.
Exactly. And that's how you get caught up in work you don't want to do for your whole life. So that's why I'm making a mad dash right now while I'm still in my 20s to get out of this loop. Because getting out of this loop in your 30s and 40s, especially when you have children, is almost impossible. Because you need to be a tremendously strong person in order to pull that one off.
Right.
When you need to provide for other people, it's a whole other game. Especially if you have a wife who loves to spend money. You gotta work even harder. You see, no wife, no kids, you have none of those expenses. You can move around and you can get a lot of shit done in your 20s. Like, we're basically sacrificing our 20s. Why? Because we weren't given everything. You know what I mean? If we were given everything in our 20s, we would have no incentive to work. And so in our 30s, we're going to be so much calmer. I'm going to be infinitely calmer. Because there's a lot of shit running on my mind that are stuff that I can actually resolve. My deeper issues, I'm resolving constantly. The inner work, I'm doing every day. But the outer work, that to me is challenging. Especially when you're taking on a lot of risk and pushing for it because your timeline is condensed. But I'd rather make a mad dash for a couple of years and then punch through than spend 30, 40, 50 years as a miserable slave. People are scared. That's why they don't get out of the loop. They're stuck in it.
There are so many people, right? It's also true that there are so many people.
Either way, I'm at peace with my actions.
And we all are responsible for our actions, right?
We are responsible, but very few people take responsibility for their actions. Because if you did take accountability, you would overcome them. But by denying them, they fester. And then you wonder why you're not at peace. It's like we have to face it every day. And I feel like so often we run away and distract ourselves. Because I guess it's tiring as well. Battling every day is exhausting. That's why I guess a lot of women don't want to work. It's tiring. Because you can take on the role of mother, you know what I mean? You don't have to go out there and work. You can work at home. Raise children. There's that option for women. But as a man, you have to be a provider. And society shows you that. Like, you're conditioned to provide as a man. Because women won't even look at you. They'll turn the other way. If they know, based on your provision level.
Yeah, because I guess a desirability of a man depends on many factors, like how much you can provide for the family, how much comfort you can provide, how much assistance you can provide,
Exactly.
how much better a breadwinner you are. Those are the factors that improves your desirability.
That's right.
Colors.
There's a software bug. The GoPro, half of the screen has stopped recording. It's looping. You see that? So this is current time, and that's a past time. And that's what's going to be recorded now. Because of a GoPro software error. The GoPro has issues. Its software is garbage. So when you try to use it like a webcam like this, things like this can happen. But that's fine. I embrace the imperfection because even this is creating some kind of unique experience. The audio is being recorded, but this half of the screen is looping. It's like your head is doing this. See that? It's like stuck on this little loop. This is going. This is
Okay.
streaming.
Then it's exactly halfway.
Yeah. And look, it just shows how good the framing is. You see how it's landing on this building? That is insane. Wow. That looks really cool, actually.
Yeah, it's a wonderful feat of video editing.
Without any editing, this
Without
is just
any editing,
naturally
that's
happening.
naturally happened, yeah.
Wow. Look how low these clouds are. They're just like 100 meters over us. You see that? That's they're moving that fast because they're so low to the ground. It's all relative. It's all relative. Those are scraping the top of Mount Montreal. Like you can see there how it's breaking off from that corner.
And guess it's very windy because it's seems moving very fast.
Exactly. It's a windy day, definitely. And if you were at top of Mount Royal right now, it would be very windy. Because that's where the wind is breaking. It breaks over Mount Royal.
What do you think to witness?
Like the sun's poking out there. It's starting to come out. The clouds are breaking up there. Wow, that is so beautiful. And it's over the cross. Look at that. That is insane.
Majestic.
Alright, do you want to call it a day?
Sure, it was a pleasure.
Yes. This is Gov Talk episode 6. Tuning out for now.